Mint green on steel. Now, I know what many of you are probably thinking. You're not supposed to use green patinas on steel, or so Sculpt Nouveau said. And you would be correct. And I'm going to go into why. But first, clean the metal with 180 grit sandpaper, and then use the Sculpt Nouveau metal cleaner. Clean it up real well. And scotch brite, rinse it, all that jazz. There's a video that specifically covers surface prep, so take a look at that if you need to learn more. But more on to the green patinas. So for mint green, I'm going to heat it up 180 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we'll spray on the traditional mint green. Now, mint green is designed for bronze, brass, and copper, and it's a fantastic patina. As you can see, that green comes nice and through. The reason why I'm using mint green on here is that mint green actually has a little bit of pigment to help kind of pop that green just a little bit. But as you can see, that rust wants to come through as well. And that's why we normally don't recommend using green patinas on steel, is because they will rust. And that's one of the things we want to try and avoid is there's a lot of rusting agents for steel. Most of them are not what we would consider controlled rust. So a lot of people will use vinegar or ammonia or a whole bunch of different things, but they're not controlled rust. So there's no set timeline on when they're done rusting, which makes clear coating them very difficult. If you clear coat over something that is rusting steel that is not controlled and you don't know the exact timeline, then it will delaminate a clear coat, and that's the problem. So here we put on too much mint green, and it was intentional, and we're just kind of going to let it set. And I wanted to see how much of that rust would take over the green. So the reason why we're going to do this is because I'm going to let it sit for a while, and then I will clear coat it. So here's about a week later, and it basically looked like this the next day, but I wanted to make sure that I gave it more than enough time before I clear coated it, because I didn't want that clear coat to delaminate. And so that's the hardest part of this, is making sure that you wait long enough to where you seal it in and it stays sealed. But I think this turned out really cool with just a little accent of green. And so you want to avoid trying to use rusting agents that will be too aggressive on the steel. So we're going to do that same process, but I'm going to go a little bit lighter and not let it just sit on the surface like I did on that last time. I want to see if I can get more green out of it and less rust. And this is just kind of playing around and everything, and I encourage you to do the same. But, just try it out and make sure you give plenty enough time for the clear coat to seal in. The last thing you want to do is trap it in and the patina has not run its course. So it's kind of like if we did Tiffany green and then we tried to clear coat it too soon, it's not going to work well. It's going to want to delaminate because there's still chemicals underneath that clear coat active and running its course. So same thing, just give it time to breathe. But overall, we're going to kind of let this be. From here, I didn't like a few of these spots, and so I'm just going to give it a little scuff, get some of those rust, but you can see the dots that came in a little thicker than I wanted. And so this is just a preference thing. I just figured I'd show you guys so you could see it. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit more, try and cover up some of those spots and make it look overall a little bit more presentable. Trying to, at the same time, keep that heat up and just light squirt so it stays more green rather than rust. This is all in the pursuit of just trying things, having fun with things, mixing it up just a little bit, and I'm pretty happy with it. So this is about a week later as well, and so we'll seal it in. And you can see it's really kind of soaking it in, so I'm going to give it another layer here real quick. But overall, 2 coats of ClearGuard was more than enough. And here we have our final piece of the light mint green done. I think it looks really cool. Mint green is available at www.sculptnouveau.com or by calling us at 760-432-8242.